Now it's crunch time for nearly 1 million matric students writing their first final exam paper. According to Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga, all question papers have been cleared by Umalusi and the exams have been given the go-ahead. So what happens post-matric and what paths should be taken by these pupils? To unpack this further, I am joined by a project lead at Youth Capital, Kristal Duncan-Williams. She joins us now virtually. Kristal, thank you so much for your time. So before discussing what happens post the exams, let's talk about the kind of support that these pupils need. I mean, I remember during my time, I was very nervous and anything could have ticked me off.
Yes, for sure. And I think young people today are just facing, so many more challenges than some of us did, pressures of social media, expectations of what their life should be like, and all of this hinges on matric results, Added to that, load shedding is, back in full force. So young people might be forced to study without electricity. And this all adds to the mental load and the pressures that young people are under. And so young people, I think, just, need supportive environments, quiet places to try to study, good food, nutrition, engaging with a caregiver, engaging with them, just asking, how are things going? How are you feeling? Just being able to talk to an adult about what they're going through can make a real difference, and to feel like they have somebody in their corner.
And, obviously this year's matric pupils, not to say it will be easy, it's not an easy time at all, especially because it comes with the stress as well. But at least it's that cohort of pupils that did get a bit of more time to, focus on the curriculum compared to those who were doing matric back in 2019, 2020, and then a bit of 2021 as well.
Absolutely. I mean, at least they've had somewhat of a normal year. We seem to be living with COVID, and that all definitely helps. But I think, overall, we are still struggling with what that meant and the isolation that COVID really brought.
Yeah.
And young people, we know from our research at Youth Capital, really often lack social connections to people who can give them advice about, as you say, even how to study, what to do next, how to find out what opportunities are available, what are things they're interested in. Young people just lack these kinds of networks and resources to have an educated guide to help them through this difficult time and this very stressful time.
Do you think at all, there's an opportunity here in terms of the education department, the basic education department, probably trying to get those matric pupils who, matriculated already and did very well, to get them to probably go to schools and give motivational talks or give the advice, for stipends maybe? Is this maybe a missed opportunity in some areas?
So, currently we have the Basic Education Employment Initiative where young people, you have to be under the age of 35, are placed in schools in a variety of roles. And at Youth Capital, we've been advocating for this program to continue. So young people are in schools. That program has teaching assistants across practically every public school in the country. And so I think those young people are there. Maybe, what we've experienced with young people, have left school, maybe they didn't get the marks they wanted, or maybe they couldn't go and study because of financial reasons. They don't feel they have something to give. And then they go into programs like this, spaces like this, and they realize it can make a difference to the next group of matrics coming through. So, we at Youth Capital have always encouraged peer-to-peer connections. To that end, we have a toolkit. On our website, we say to young people, go back to the school in your community, speak about your experience, speak about how you ended up where you are. You might just help another young person figure out what is a difficult time.
Yeah, the coping mechanisms, which will be very important. So, Kristal, what happens? What's the advice that you'd give them post-writing? For me, my mom just took me to the Bundus. She said, stay there and don't stress. I'll fetch you on the week of the results.
It wasn't a bad idea. I think it's difficult to avoid that, with social media. Everybody's going to be talking about it all the time. And it doesn't make the results come out any faster. But I think for young people to focus on the fact that there is a second chance matric program. So the Department of Basic Education has a chance for you to, if you fail some subjects, all the main ones, you can rewrite. And so to find out that information now already, you can get it all data free on sayouth.mobi. There's a hub there. So don't, even if you don't get the marks you wanted for the post-school study you want to do, there is a chance for you to do something about it. So don't feel like this is the end. And then to think about, what you can do to bolster your CV in the meantime. We know that the thing that young people speak about the most is work experience. So take your mind off it. I keep seeing job ads. I think the hospitality industry is booming again post-COVID. We're going into season, at least here in Cape Town, everybody's coming down here for the holidays. So, keep yourself busy with other things, maybe I would say. And if you are struggling, reach out to SADAG. There is the call center. There is mental health support for people who are really struggling. So make use of that and, find an adult that you feel you can speak to about what you're going through, the highs and the lows and everything else.
Kristal, thank you so much for your time here on eNCA. That was a project lead at Youth Capital, Kristal Duncan-Williams. I think I was lucky at that time. Social media was not as bad as it was now. I had an auntie who was a teacher, and my mom just took a whole lot of us. We went to the Northwest and spent time there to forget about the noise.